Thank you, Kieran. Bore da. Good morning, everybody. Welcome from Wales. Welcome to all speakers and delegates this morning to this virtual Women in Policing Conference 2020. 2020 has been an unprecedented year for all of us with the COVID-19 pandemic, and we've all had to adapt and do things differently. With this conference moving online, hopefully it's enabled some of you to take part in this conference that wouldn't have been able to do so otherwise. 2020 has been a difficult year in policing, and I want to acknowledge how hard I know each and every one of you will have worked this year, particularly when we know how women disproportionately bore the weight of care and responsibilities for children and elderly relatives. I also want to acknowledge those of you who will have lost friends, family members and colleagues this year. My thoughts are with you. With the arrival of the vaccine this week on V-Day, hopefully 2021 will be a better year for all of us. Today, we're going to focus on you. Nobody cares more about your development than you. Please take the time to focus on you and be fully present. Please put your out of office on, turn your emails off and put your phone on silent so you don't have any distractions. The annual Women in Policing Conference is a key event for all those interested in seeing leadership opportunities for women in policing enhanced, offering practical advice on coaching and how to further develop your career in times of change. In the Home Office Police Workshop National Statistics for England and Wales this year, 31% of our officers are female, up from 30% last year. Whilst this number is rising, it's taken 10 years to get from 25.7% to 31.2%. That's 5.5%. This 31% is not reflected across all ranks in policing. A constable is 33.1%, sergeant is 24.2%, inspectors 24.7%, chief inspectors 26.1%, superintendents 28.2%, chief superintendents 22.5%, and chief officers 29.4%. There is still some way to go to achieve a gender balanced leadership teams that are truly representative of the communities that we serve. So let's remind ourselves of why a gender balanced police service at every rank is so important. A report published this year by Interpol and UN Women researched women in law enforcement in Southeast Asia. The report concluded that women in law enforcement enhanced efficiency and effectiveness through a diverse and inclusive workforce. By drawing on the talents of men and women at every level, we enhance capabilities of diverse teams which benefit from collective intellect, which improves performance. A gender-balanced workforce improves responses to sexual and gender-based violence. A gender-balanced workforce helps to build community trust and institutional legitimacy. Female officers are far less likely than men to use excessive force, which can affect community perceptions of institutional legitimacy. Increased positive perceptions of police legitimacy are linked to greater levels of community cooperation and can facilitate police investigations and responses to crime, for example, through the provision of intelligence to police. And lastly, from an anti-corruption perspective, women are not less corruptible than men, but studies have shown that the entrance of new members to a group can disrupt or disturb established corruption-related practices. We are all public servants employed to serve our communities, and we have a duty to ensure that our police forces provide the best service that they possibly can, and we all have a responsibility to ensure that we achieve our own potential and also to support our female colleagues to do so. In 2003, the National Assembly for Wales made waves worldwide as the first legislature to achieve 50-50 gender balance, and some research was conducted by academics into the impact of that achievement. It was found to have transformed how politics in Wales was conducted. The study showed political debates were more consensual than adversarial, and as a result had non-traditional topics on the agenda, such as domestic violence. Here's a quote from the research. The Assembly is a new political institution associated with a consensual political style and inclusive politics and working arrangements which recognise the care and responsibilities of those working within it. The report quotes an anonymous male Labour AM who says, "It makes a difference to the culture in which group meetings are conducted. As I've said, we have fierce disagreement in the group meetings, but it's conducted in the complete absence of chest thumping and table thumping." The AMs interviewed as part of the research agreed that women had had an impact on the type of policy issues that were being debated. They said domestic violence is on the agenda, equal pay is on the agenda, and all those kinds of really important issues that probably wouldn't be there if there wasn't such a high number of women. By increasing the women in that environment, the culture changed and the conversations changed. You can and will have that impact in your organisations. Today, you will hear from a stellar lineup of inspirational speakers who will explore the role of women in policing and offer practical advice and coaching on how to further develop your career. We will discuss how we can manage the challenges of modern leadership and help enhance so that we don't lose momentum in recognising and rewarding female leaders in policing. So some housekeeping. If you have any technical issues, please refer back to your joining instructions or email conference.admin@dodsgroup.com. Today's event is on Glisser. On the attendee dashboard on Glisser, you'll see 4 tabs. The first one is On Now, where you can see highlights of any live sessions that are taking place at any moment in time. The second one is Rooms, where you can search sessions taking place throughout the day by clicking on that tab. The third one is Support Materials, and in that tab you can find the delegates brochure, the agenda and additional materials you can read and watch during the day, during the breaks, and there's a range of topics under that tab. And then the last tab is the search one, where you can search for any specific session that you want. For the best possible online session, we recommend you use Google Chrome because the Glisser platform doesn't work on Internet Explorer. And also it's best to use a desktop or a laptop. It doesn't really work very well on a mobile. Within each session, you have the ability to take notes on each individual slide, and you can download the slides, but they'll also be sent to you in an email in the days following the event. And the slides will be presented, the notes will be presented side by side with the slides. There will be opportunities to participate in polls throughout the day, and these will appear during the sessions. Please submit your questions for speakers through the Q&A box on Glisser. It'll only be possible to ask questions when a session's taking place, and I will feed the questions to the speakers. The speaker slides and the video recordings will be uploaded to the conference website a week after the conference, and the link will be sent round to you all. In the delegate pack, you'll feed the speaker bios. Please can you take the time to read them, because I'm not going to have time to read out all the detail. We're scheduled for lunch between at 1 o'clock and for 13:45 finish, and there are regular comfort breaks scheduled throughout the day as well. So for those on Twitter amongst you, the hashtag for today is Women in Policing, and please can I all encourage you to tweet about today's event and use the hashtag Women in Policing.